Hello everyone and welcome to Feisty and Fabulous on Friday. That's right, this is the summer edition of Feisty on Friday. We have to add the fabulous. Actually, we might just drop the feisty and make it fabulous on Friday. I'm excited to be here. I'm Tosca Di Matteo, founder of Tosca Coaching and Consulting, and you can find out more about me at www.toscadimatteo.com. Okay, so listen y'all. What is it? It's June 24th. It's like we're still in the energy of a full moon, and my butt is going on vacation. That's right. Starting tomorrow, I'm out of here, hitting the road. And so that means, my content is going to be super light over the next few weeks, and if it's anything at all, it's going to probably be pictures of the beach. But actually, I also want you to know that this coming Tuesday, I'm going to have an awesome Talk About It Tuesday, getting naked with two of my friends in the Outer Banks of North Carolina. And no, we're not going to have bathing suits on, okay? I'm not Girls Gone Wild, no. This is more about like real talk, girl talk, honest talk for everybody, not just girls, guys, everybody in between, however you identify. It's just about, letting loose and having some real conversations. I think that one of the things that we're going to cover is around how important it is to take vacation. And I mean real vacation. I don't mean like a day off here, a day off there. I mean like a break. I mean shut it down. I mean turn it off. Right? Like, oh man, it's so important to mental health. And actually, one of the things I'm really proud of is that I really held a lot of boundaries for the next couple of weeks. I have very limited exceptions about work over the next 2 weeks, and that meant saying no. That meant pushing things back. It meant honoring my schedule and the way that I want to design it. And I know that it's difficult, and I also do a lot of coaching around boundaries, so like I totally get it. And I believe in walking the talk of like really giving yourself permission to shut your brain off completely. Okay, so I'm just gonna get off the soapbox right now about that, but like I think we're gonna cover that topic on Tuesday at noon Eastern. And what I wanted to be fabulous about today, hey, what's going on, Catherine? Good to have you here. I'm talking about like being fabulous on Friday. I'm talking about really honoring our needs for vacation and shutting things down. And I'm really like a firm believer in celebrating. I talk about this a lot, right? Like we have to celebrate our wins. We have to celebrate our accomplishments, every little step along the way. And I think that I want to actually take a little minute to celebrate and honor myself, which I think is very hard for me to do. I think it's easy for me to grab a glass of wine and cheers and say, hey, I did this thing, and it's very hard for me to like absorb it, to feel it, to embody it, and to really honor it in a big way. And that's a whole like there's some deep whys about that for sure. And it links to like not enoughness, right? To like never enough, but that's like a daily battle for me. Every day is like knowing I'm enough, and that what I'm doing is enough, and that my wins are big wins, and that I shouldn't diminish them, So at the start of this year, I said to myself, like, I'm done playing small. I'm gonna play bigger. And I decided to really put the pedal to the metal to do the work around corporate culture revolution. to really go after work in order to make a difference in organizations and teams, to make them healthier places to be, more inclusive places to be. And you know, that was my intention for the year. And this week I was able to share a workshop via the Elevate Network around influencing company culture. And that was big for me, to have energetically gotten to the place where that opportunity was available, where I put my thoughts on paper and shared it with a large audience. You know, that took some effort. Hey Jen, oh my God, I've been meaning to call you, my friend. Like, it has been way too effing long. And like, tomorrow we're heading to North Carolina, and like, I can't wait to see you. I'm gonna see you in August. For sure, we have got to make those plans. But you know, I'm talking about like really celebrating and, you know, and honoring our wins. And like, Jennifer, like, you know, you have accomplished so much, you know, and in your life as a mom, you know, as a dancer, as an artist, as an executive, like all of these things, you know. And I'm just like, I'm sitting here like wondering, like, hey, have you ever like really sat and been like, holy fuck, man, like I am awesome. Like I fucking rock the house, you know. Like I have 2 kids and I'm still killing it. You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm talking about, which is like my journey of like, how do I let that in for myself, right? And say like, hey, like this is great, this stuff that I'm doing, you know, and like letting it be enough and like letting it in. I think a lot of people struggle with that, you know, and I think it's one thing to toast, and it's another thing to feel it in your body, to know like that is big. That's big what I'm doing. That's big what I've done, you know. Like I remember like I have this client, you know, and he was like, you know, he bought this second home, and I was like saying to him, wow, that's like amazing, congratulations. And he was like, oh, I'm just really fortunate, you know. And I was like, oh, but you did that. Like, okay, sure, like there's privilege, okay, sure, but you worked your butt off to get that like second house. And can you honor that, and can you celebrate that, right? Yeah, I agree. Jen, it's like, it's good to take a moment and enjoy the accomplishments. Yes, to like savor them completely, and not, it doesn't have to be just once, right? It could be several times. And that's why I'm kind of retitling this, like, you know, for the summer, like Fabulous on Friday, because like I feel like the summer is the time for celebration. It is time for fabulousness. It is time to like love ourselves and our bodies, even during a season in which, you know, it's easy to like be hard on ourselves, you know. And I'm just like, you know what, I'm going to the beach and I don't give a freaking fuck. I'm just going out there and doing me and like letting it all go and whatever, you know, and just like honoring that, like I'm lucky to have this body, I'm lucky to have like this life, and I've done a lot to like build it in this way, you know. And I say these things because I want people to know like what's possible for yourself. When I was sitting up in a freaking cubicle 10 years ago, did I ever imagine a day that I could take a month and go to a beach and like work remotely and go to the ocean for a sunset walk? No, I never imagined that was possible for myself, and maybe I should have. Like maybe I should have like been dreaming bigger dreams, and even in this moment, what's the next bigger dream that I can dream for myself, you know? Like it's amazing what we can manifest when we put our intention behind it, you know. And I think, and Jen, you know, I feel like you create a lot of that for yourself too. Like you're like, I'm gonna do this and this is gonna happen, and like, and you inspire me because I feel like you're the kind of person that lives without boundaries. You're just like, this is what I want, I'm going after it. And that's beautiful and that's inspiring. And I think there's a lot of people out there that hold themselves back from dreaming. I was just speaking to a gentleman today where, he's had this whole career in corporate, and he just started the seedling of an idea of like starting his own business, and it's like, yeah, why not? Like, why is that not possible? So I feel like, yeah, summer is a time for dreaming. It's a time to come back to ourselves. I think we give ourselves more permission to take time off, and even like companies give us more permission, right? Like we have half day Fridays or every other Friday off, or some organizations are doing stuff like that. And oh, by the way, if they're not, start the conversation. Speaking of influencing company culture, you can start that dialogue to say, hey, like, why don't we try something new and give people a break, but I think there's like staggering facts about how people don't take time off, how they just roll it over year after year. And to me, that's just like the biggest shame. Like, I think that was one of the biggest things for me in corporate, which is just like this shackle that I felt about my time off. It's like, what? No. And now here I am, right, living a life where I take the time off that I want. And that's not always easy. It's not always easy to give myself permission, right? That's part of it too. You're giving yourself the permission, and holding your boundaries so that you can go and be fabulous and do the things that you love, and I think that it can look a number of different ways. I know we all have different resources, we all have different lifestyles, we all have different situations that we're in, but I just want to press, like, where can we give ourselves more freedom? Where can we give ourselves more of what we want? Where can we push the envelope and say, I want more? Because we are deserving of a life of joy. That's our birthright. And so I feel like to honor ourselves means honoring our dreams, and honoring our dreams means like giving time and space to really think that through, and I think part of it too is in being in support of other people who are sharing their dreams and their seedlings of ideas, and that vulnerability. Because I think what can happen is when we tell people our big dreams, to people that want to stay small, or that don't know how to hold space for your truth, or that are afraid, or whatever, they put their projections on you, then we can kind of really feel shut down. And so it is important to pick the right people to share your dreams with, but also we as individuals, I think, can do a better job at holding space for the dreams of other people, and not holding judgment about that, or not like questioning like the how, or the all of the minutia, the details don't matter. What matters is the vision. What matters is your truth, and that you're expressing it. You know what I'm saying? And like letting that breathe. And it doesn't happen overnight, your dreams and your visions, and like, I'm not saying like it's going to be like that. It's not. Certainly that hasn't been my life experience, where like I know what I want like right away. Like sometimes it's a cultivation, and it has to be kind of molded like clay, you kind of say, oh, I got this ball, and then you're kind of like molding it more and more into like, what do I really see for myself, I guess it makes me wonder, again, as we're kind of in this summer vibe, like, what dreams have you put on the shelf that you want to dust back off and say, like, I want to take another look at this. Like, life is too short. Why do I keep shelving this? Why do I keep, putting this on, And I had this client that she decided she was going to invest in herself, right? She was going to work with a coach. She was going to work with me to give herself this gift to herself, right? And like life got a little crazy, got in the way, and like, you know, she showed up late to her own appointment, you know, and that's okay, because she did what she could. She gave herself what she could, given what was going on. And I think I share that to say, with your dreams, like, even if you end up falling a little short of what you wanted, even if it's not 100%, that's okay. Like, are you setting expectations for yourself that are, you know, maybe not necessary, you know? Like, if you have a dream of making a movie, right? Like, maybe like a 5-minute movie is enough to satisfy that calling or that dream or that quench, you know? Versus putting this big structure around everything and feeling like, oh, it's gotta look this way, it's gotta be this way for it to you know, be what I want. You know, what I'm basically saying is, can you have the dream and then withhold judgment and withhold expectations of what that looks like? It may look completely different than what you imagine, but it's not what it looks like that matters. It's, did you get the feeling that you were looking for in it, you know? So I think that we have to be careful about the boxes that we put ourselves in, you know, so that we can say, oh, it looked different than I thought, but actually this is also fabulous and awesome. You know, I think it goes back to celebrating, like, that we can still give ourselves that permission to celebrate, even if it didn't look exactly like you wanted, right? Like, the fact that you tried, the fact that you pushed out your comfort zone, the fact that you felt amazing, like, all of that matters. You know, what it actually looks like tangibly. I think we get really hooked on that, and sometimes it can become how we punish ourselves, which is just even more detrimental, in my opinion. But yeah, like, gosh, you know, it's funny because I talk about, you know, using this word fabulous, and you know, it really makes me think of shows like Pose, which I absolutely just freaking adore. You know, and what you see with like transgender community, and with these women that just put themselves out there in these big, beautiful ways, you know, and just like, yeah, honoring it's Pride Month, and there is something that is so magical when I see these women owning every bit of their beauty and femininity, and like how they want to feel inside and out, and it is so inspiring to me. It is so inspiring to me that they're able to fight for their fabulous, you know, because unfortunately it is a fight because of how I think much of society receives that. But let me tell you, if we could all be like those characters on Pose, what a beautiful world it would be if we were just all living our truth, being who we are, not asking for permission, and not apologizing for it. Like, to me, that is fabulous. That is fabulous on Friday. Honestly, I don't even know what else I can say on this show. That's like the perfect note to leave it on. So I hope that you go out there this weekend, this summer, and be fabulous. And hell, be feisty and fabulous. Put it all together. And I'd love to hear from you. Let me know how you're creating fabulous Fridays, fabulous summer for yourself. And I look forward to seeing you on Tuesday with my two really good friends, Lena and Aisha, and we're gonna let our hair down in the Outer Banks, aka OBX, apparently, in North Carolina, where we're just gonna we're taking real vacation. So expect something fun and fabulous, and I'll see you there. Have a great weekend, guys. Ciao for now.